Everything is going live, and we'll sit here and make sure that the stream is going to be online. We are starting. Receiving your content. Your audience will see it in a moment. Get ready. Let's see what's going on here. And it says I'm live, so everybody should be able to see it. I should be able to see it online, coming online shortly. Decided to change the pictures around so people can see and decide what they want to do. Let's see here. And we'll sit here and tell people that we're recording. Alright. Stream is up. Let's see. Oop. Let's see here. Go to the channel. Make sure everything's okay. We got a minute. So 30 minutes. Probably gonna take up to an hour, whether people are watching or not. But we're gonna sit here and take care of some things first, just in case anybody is actually interested. We'll go ahead and change this up. Minutes. Probably gonna take up to let's see. In case anyone is interested. And I'll probably just do a quick rant or two. I have some other things that I wanted to sit here and talk about, but basically goings on of Lefty Poll, as well as some of the things that I've been reading for today. Trying to get these things off of my chest. I mean, one of the things that I really got salty about and really haven't finished or let go of, and I'm probably going to sit here and end it after this. I was asked a lot about Sargon of Akkad, but one of the things that I sat here and talked about recently was Lefty Poll, and I was going to sit here and talk about Marxism and elections. Now, recent post, I actually did something. I'll go ahead and tell people stream is up on Lefty Poll. So if anybody wants to pay attention to it, you gotta sit here and do the bypass. SKJSE. The captcha. Success. Okay. It's alright, light talking when figuring things out. Let's see. Nope, wrong one. Here we go. Nope. That's the one. Okay. So just in case anybody actually wants to pay attention, I mean, it's basically going to be every night around 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. That's Central Time. I'll be doing a stream, just a quick stream to really get things off my chest and sit here and start talking about podcasts and basically what's been going on during the day. And one of the things that I caught my eye was actually this Marxism and elections discussion. Now, Paul D'Amato is the author of The Meaning of Marxism. Now, one of the things that a lot of people seem to not recognize about Marxism is that it only cares about economics, which really isn't the case. Now, it talks about the economic relations of society that constitute its foundation, and I mean, if you want to read it, I'll put the link in the underbar so people can read it on their own time, as well as when this gets up onto the regular wrong one. Let's see. Marxism and elections. And for me, I really did find this to be a pretty good article, something to actually read in regards to what was going on not only about class relations, but some of the things about how we do elections and how we sit here and fight for a workers' party. That's really something that you don't look into quite a lot. So I'm going to recommend a lot of people look into this, look into how elections are formed, and how you can find coalitions of working class people that basically don't sit here and go out of their, pursue their own class interests instead of the class interests of billionaires like sitting here voting for Trump in America. I'm not going to say too much about it since there's not a lot of people that are really paying attention to the stream right now. I'm pretty much the only one. So it sucks, but I probably won't get a lot done. Let's see here. Viewers will experience buffering. Oh, great. My stream health isn't quite as good. Let's see how to get this. Let me see how this is going. Well, I'm probably going to have to take care of... Nope, not that one. That one. Let's see if that works and takes some of that stream health and puts it back up. I'm not going to... Looks like the numbers are getting better. I guess the quick moving parts that was really affecting the stream. Hopefully that sits here and looks a little bit better for more people. And I mean, if y'all ever have any questions, I pay attention to the chat room, so that's one thing that I do. But other than that, I usually just use this for rants and things like that. And I guess the biggest thing that I had to rant about this week, I mean, yesterday I kind of got into it, but then I got distracted with taking up questions. One of the big things was the Sargon thing. And to me, I really can't let this go because someone did ask me, how do I know so much about Sargon? Now, for me personally, I didn't really know about Sargon until I was big in the Anita Sarkeesian fiasco. Now, in terms of the Anita Sarkeesian fiasco, that one had been spanning for not even 2 or 3 years, actually 2 years. And what goes on with that is the fact that Anita gets a lot of bypass corporate coverage with the corporate media. And so I learned about Sargon through that, and then Gamergate happened, and I found out what was going on with Sargon. Nowadays, he really tries to claim that he's a liberal, but I don't really think he is. I think he's an alt-right person, but that's more or less where I get my views from him, because learning about him in the past, I got a lot from him in that regard. Let's see. Now, let's see. I'm trying to find out where is this other article, which is a good one that I'll be putting in the underbar. It's about feminism, and for the most part, when I looked into feminism before, I really had been studying about 9 different strands of feminism, and I didn't know that there was a lot more. Still trying to... Okay, reading what you're saying, Space Ghost, I wish I had questions. I kind of just found out about all this stuff. Still trying to take all this in. If you could clarify exactly what you mean, what are you trying to take in? Are you trying to take in what the left wing is? Are you talking about, say, are you talking about Bunker Strong? Praise Hosa. Are you trying to take in the fact that there has been a left and it's been decimated for the last 50 years? I mean, there's plenty of things to really talk about in regards to what's going on with left-wing thought, especially in America, in relation to everything. I mean, stream Lefty Poll. Well, Lefty Poll is a result of what occurred during Gamergate. Now, so they're always going to be connected in some way, shape, or form. I really wasn't a 4chaner, but the way that I found 8chan was the fact that I went to 4chan. And And for me, I know exactly how you feel in regards to a decimated left. Um, Gentle Genteet says it's not a direct result, but indirect. Well, the two are inexorably connected, though. So here's how I saw it. Gamergate happened. Like, it's kind of connected to the Sargon story I was just talking about, but Gamergate happened, and basically all of the people kind of got pushed out of 4chan. When they got pushed out, 8chan was like, hey, we're over here, we've been over here for a year, and everybody kind of reconnoitered and migrated to 8chan. So, Genteet. Okay, I'll say Genteet from now on. I hope that's right. But everybody migrated to 8chan. Now, in 8chan, I mean, we have the owner right now, the board owner, but everybody started with, Poll, and Poll went full retard in about a month, 2 months. And then all of the Gamergate boards, there's been at least 3. 2 of them went full retard. 1 went full retard, like, quickly. But, okay, see you later. But for me, like, 8chan basically destroyed it. Like, Lefty Poll was kind of created out of the fact that the Poll board just basically went pretty much full Nazi. So that's probably one of the things that I was looking into a long time ago, and I mainly just look at movements all over the place. I'm trying to find this Lefty Poll article. Let's see. Trying to find that new feminism board. I gotta go and look on to find that one thing that I was looking for. So, I swear, people want you to be very, very quickly. For about a month, on and off. Space Ghost. Yeah, I have been scavenging for leftist discussion boards for about a month, on and off. It was getting discouraging for a while. Poll gives me cancer. Yeah, Poll can do that. And there's Lefty Poll, there's Bunker Chan. I mean, for the most part, you're talking about in the last 50 years, left-wing thought and left-wing views were heavily discouraged and disparaged all over the place. Now, with like Bernie Sanders coming up and all of this other stuff, what's basically happening is the fact that you can actually talk about socialist views and thoughts all over the place, which is really a good thing. And for me, I'm just sitting here working and learning how to do streaming and things like that. If people don't want to listen to it, they don't have to. If people do want to listen to it, great. And my main point is I'm trying to sit here and help people try to learn what's going on around the world. Internationalist perspective, nationalist perspectives, and other things. Comrade Horse. I'm going to call you Comrade Horse to try to keep it PG-13. The funniest part about 4Poll is easily the Nazi versus Lawbirds threads. You're going to have to give me context because I really don't know much about it. I had been new to the 4chan threads, so I didn't know all about what was going on there. I mean, in my knowledge, 4chan or libertarian, I know that got taken by right-wing libertarianism in the 80s by Murray Rothbard, but I still don't know enough about libertarian socialism to really talk about anything. So, if you can give me some context so I know a little bit about what's going on. I feel like Space Ghost. For a long time, I felt scared to talk about socialism slash Marxism in America. It's almost like a bad word. It's hard to get into the left. I feel like the distinction between leftist and liberal are something that people don't look into. It makes me sad and misunderstood. If you can, Space Ghost, the main thing that I would sit here and suggest, you can look at to Empire Files with Abby Martin, and one of those is about the fight bit about an idea that should give you some context about how we fought for a lot of things. In terms of, we fought for the 8-hour day. That's something that Trotsky was doing way back in the, what was it, 40s, 50s. He even sat here and convinced conservatives of the idea of that. You can have a lot of ideas that, this is, Trotsky was ousted. I don't exactly remember when, but he was murdered by Stalin because he was doing so much. Awesome Telesur, right? You can find it on Telesur. You should be able to find her own YouTube channel. If I can, I'll sit here and I'll link it to you for you. Let's see, YouTube Empire Files. So you can sit here and go directly to it. Oh, nope, not that. That's not what I want to do. How NAFTA displaced millions. Where is it? The U.S. school that trains dictators and death squads. Hillary wants to keep that up. Here we go. America's unofficial religion. The war on an idea. Oh, shoot. So that way you can see it for yourself on her YouTube page. Here you go. It's going to be in the chat for you. I just hate talking about being a leftist, socialist, Marxist to my friends. They automatically assume I'm an SJW, Black Lives Matter, radical or something. It's scary. I get the same things, and for me, I look at KIA, and for the most part, Kotaku in Action is supposed to be about journalism. The thing is, they've sat here and closed off everything that they're doing to talk about, like, everything is an SJW and basically been taken over by a right-wing reactionary group, but they don't really realize that. Let's see. Comrade Horace said, after that, what do you think the French general strike and riots right now? There's been uprisings. I don't know much about the French ones or the EU. I think they're sitting here and the main thing that I know about France right now is the refugee crisis. I mean, that's kind of taken over everything. They're bombing all over Libya, Syria, and all that, and then they're worried because they have people that are basically bombing them back. People that they've kind of left out of the main conversation. People that they've been monitoring and watching, and then all of a sudden they turn out to be terrorists. That's the thing that's been going on. It's similar to what's happening in America in regards to Baltimore, Detroit, or anything. You leave these people with nothing to do, and you have a whole bunch of poverty. And what happens is, all of these people, they either go to violence or they sit here and start doing uprisings. That's the problem that they're basically having. France doesn't want to sit here and admit that they're sitting here and bombing these places to smithereens. These people can't go to like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, or any places like that. And then they're moving westward into Europe, and that's causing all kinds of conflict. I mean, the system can't hold itself together. You have the EU that's about to break apart, and then after you hear, say, Yanis Varoufakis talking about how he wants them to stick together, but they have an economic system that is breaking itself apart. These are the types of things that are basically happening and going on that are not being discussed, but you sit here and see a lot of scapegoating of the weakest people who have the least amount of money, such as the refugees, and then all of a sudden, well, wait a minute, this is all about Islam. No, it's really not. But the fact of the matter is, in regards to the French general strikes, I think they're fighting against Uber. They're fighting to sit here and hold on to their wages. You have a whole bunch of people trying to fight to basically keep the, like, basically try to fight for all these migrants and all these other things, and it's just splitting that society apart. You know, the government is trying to sit here and bring in more workers, but that's going to be resisted by the nationalists and the patriots, who are saying, well, okay, if you bring in more workers, you got to pay. Are you going to pay them less? What's going to happen to us? So it's just it's just a clusterfuck. In no way, shape, or form. Do you think the reactionaries will be the next seat in power, at least in fractured Europe? They've gotten power in Poland, Hungary. You have a left wing, but they've been stifled. Like Podemos in Spain. You have the UK, which has a really good chance of getting Jeremy Corbyn. But if you sit here and look at Jeremy Corbyn, that what's going to happen is, if they sit here and split apart like Cameron wants to do, then you're going to bolster the nationalists of the Scottish and Irish. So that's what's going to happen. Comrade Horse, do you think this will develop into a larger insurrection or another Occupy French edition? I don't know enough about France to really say anything about that. I honestly just don't know. You might know more than I do. If you can, let me know. Or if you want me to link to something and read it, I'll probably read it. What do you think about Germany after Merkel? Well, Merkel is a right-wing leader. She got really rich. How she screwed over Greece, I would still criticize. And I know Obama has been on a tour to basically try to keep the EU together, but they won't. They just can't hold it all together. You have this influx of refugees, as I've just said. You have all of these countries that basically the poor ones are, the global south is being suppressed. Merkel, she moved from right wing to center, and the right wing is attacking her. So what's happening in Germany is the same splitting up. And instead of the German workers trying to sit here and, basically give Greece a decent deal, they sat here and turned nationalist and said, well, screw Greece. And it's the same thing that happened here in the United States, where you have a whole bunch of white working class people who have sat here and made a deal with Trump and said, well, he represents our interests, but like the black people here in America, they got to deal with either Clinton or Sanders. They don't know much about Sanders, so they sit here and they're voting against their own interests for corporate Clinton. Those are the types of things that are basically happening right now. So it's all connected, and basically Merkel has done the best that she can with what she has. And for the most part, she, did that divide and conquer, especially with Greece, and she kept herself elected. I don't know if she's going to actually make it out. I thought I had it where you could look at links, but Stimulator has a good video on France, but I can't post links. I'll look into Stimulator. Let me see if I can find him. Stimulator. Later, France. Paris is burning. Ooh. I don't know if y'all can hear that music or whatever. Okay, just tell me, is it a 6-minute and 26-second long video? I'll sit here and I'll look at it, Comrade Horse. I'll probably sit here and critique it tomorrow night or something. So, did I get all the questions? The refugee crisis seems to have destroyed all hope. Well, Comrade, Paris is burning, the right one. Okay, I'll look at that one and sit here and comment on it tomorrow. Space Ghost, do you believe that the people that are releasing the Panama Papers are biased towards the United States? I've heard arguments that there should be a lot more leaking of American companies. It's the corporate media. They're going to try to sit here and cover the corporate media, but the problem that you're going to have is too juicy. There's too many companies. Like, I know RT did a story where $1.4 trillion is being held in tax havens by American business companies. This stuff is going to leak out, and already we know, like the Guardian is reporting, that Clinton and Trump share a Delaware tax loophole. One of the things that I was going to actually talk about is, like, in Peru, that's connected to the American eugenics program. So, well, let's get into your argument first. The thing is, Panama, I don't think this particular tax haven has a lot of American companies. So they're showing this is like a global system, and that's showing how all of this stuff has basically worked out. Excuse me. I had to burp. But basically, in Panama, you have a lot more foreign companies, and that's how Cameron basically got embarrassed. And Corbyn looks like, a prince and a saint after everything that has happened with him. So, to me, the fact of the matter is, no matter what you think of the Panama Papers, even if it's from the corporate media, they're going to have to sit here and follow the WikiLeaks model in some way, shape, or form. Comrade Horse, Puerto Rico would have more U.S. businesses hiding money. They've taken their money out of Puerto Rico and basically left them for debt and dead, but that's another story. So most of their money is in with the New York hedge funds, and if you really want to follow the money there, I think you probably want to look into Jamaica. I don't know exactly which one that they're using right now. Sweden got exposed, but don't think of it down here. You got to think about what the United States is doing and why. And the United States has been exposing other tax havens. I mean, remember, 2009, they were going after, what was it, UBS, Sweden? I want to say Switzerland or Sweden. UBS, which one was that? So, there was that one. They wanted to go after the journalists like WikiLeaks. So that's why Assange has been in England for this long time. So what they've been doing has been exposing all of these other tax havens to make themselves look good. Like Luxembourg, I know they went after this one in Panama. I think he's just trying to blow these all up to make America, particularly Delaware and Nevada, look better. So, Comrade Horse, speaking of which, how dangerous do you think Puerto Rico melting would be to the U.S. as a whole? When I last listened to Richard D. Wolff and him talking about it in his most recent economic update, he was saying we're going to have 1 million people from Puerto Rico, since they can't get any kind of relief. They're going to come in and migrate to the United States, to the mainland. Now, the other city that you have to really think about is Chicago, that's in the exact same position. And in regards to Puerto Rico, you got to think that they're paying the highest tax. So they're paying 11.5% taxes. Now, I was in Nevada. They were saying that the cost of living. Can you restate when these streams happen usually? Should I be looking out for some other streams? Well, real quick on that, I do this at 11 o'clock. I try to start it with some kind of rant or something, just something that I have on my mind, and then I sit here and I take questions, and that's where I go in. So I usually do it from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. If there's a lot of questions, I'll try to get to most of them. That's kind of how I do it and how I roll right now. So I kind of like a really strong community, and I'm trying to sit here and build up that community. If y'all don't want to watch, it'll probably be just me ranting and raving, maybe 15-20 minutes, and then I'll just sit here and do it again another night. So Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock Central Standard Time zone, Central Standard. So CST, I don't know how to do that in I'll put it in the chat for you. 11 p.m. Central CST. So, whether I have one person, 3 people, or 20, I mean, the best thing. Do you think you might be interested in showing up on the Bunker Bants? I mean, if they want me. If they want me. If I knew how to do Google Streams, I'd probably get other people in too. I suck at stuff like this. So, I usually just take questions, and that's how I sit here and roll. So, and I guess if you notice, I sit here and I tend to just ramble on. And if y'all ask questions about anything, some of the stuff that I talk about, history, politics, economics, that's why I'm starting it up like this. So if y'all are interested in any kind of topic, I try to give my opinion on it. If I don't know, I don't know. And I think that's a quicker way to do it than sit here, write up a whole bunch of stuff, or sit here and make a whole bunch of videos. I'd rather just say, screw it, we'll do it live. I'm already on the IRC. If you listen to last night's, I put it up on there. Alright, well, what is your stance on the left? Your philosophical standpoint, etc. Internet relay chat. You can get, if you want to know what IRC is, you can use something like Hex Chat, get the newest one, and then you can go to Bunker Chan, and basically you can talk to them or talk to other people. It's kind of like, different chat ways to chat with other people. Now, my stance on the left is you just want more democracy. It's really not all that complicated. For me, Marxism is about a lens in how you view the world. Like, how you critique the world, how you view it. That's what the Marxist lens means to me. In terms of socialism, that's where I sit here and I fight for a more democratic state. Not necessarily just Bernie Sanders' democratic socialism, but for me, socialism is the workers own and create their own state, and from that state they're going to sit here and try to push for the communist type thing, such as Athens way back in the 2nd century. What do you think about Catalonia and how it failed, what they did right? I don't know enough about Catalonia to really comment on it, so I can't. So more localism and direct democracy. I do fight for direct democracy, and not necessarily. I think when you're talking about localism, I think you're talking about anarchism mostly. And when you're talking about anarchism, I have my own problems with Proudhon and Stirner in some way, shape, or form. But I haven't read enough Stirner to really comment. The last time I read Proudhon, he sounded like a zealot to me. He sounded like he was just off his rocker and off his meds. He sat here, he was scapegoating people, and that's why I don't take anarchism as strongly as I do, say, Marxist theory, scientific socialism, etc., etc. So, now I'll fight for a direct democracy where, you bunch up with a lot of people, sit here and affect change in that way, in that shape and form. And I think that's what we're lacking here in America. A lot of people have this belief that the inverted totalitarianism is essentially what's going to sit here and get us to where we need to be. But that's ruled by the rich. And the rich really suck at what they do. They are not supposed to rule. So if you can, tell me a little bit more about Catalonia. I'm going to actually look that up a little bit and see what in the world was I. What in the world? is that? Catalonia. Autonomous community of Spain located in the northeastern part of the Iberian Peninsula. I'm not sure exactly where I'm supposed to be looking for the direct democracy. Yeah, I don't know enough about Catalonia to comment, so that's my... Hey, I can only tell you exactly what I know, and unfortunately, Catalonia is not one thing that I really looked into. In terms of recent history, I've been looking at Socialist Worker, or look up CNT-FI and the Spanish Civil War. Let's see. Get the old Google, CNT-FI, Spanish Civil War. Wait a minute. Didn't Confederación Nacional de Trabajo, the workers' anarchism in Spain, collaboration. Wait a minute. 1936. Oh, the 1936 revolution. Okay, I'm getting a Wikipedia article. Wait a minute. I think I know a little bit about this, but I still don't know enough. I think this was when some American guys actually went to Spain and fought against Franco. Am I right on that? Because I'm not sure if I'm right on that. But I think they were fighting against Franco. And for the most part, they sat here and spelled like they had at least 1,000 people that died. You know, Americans that died trying to fight against the fascists there. Okay, so yeah, there was the International Brigades. It's still a weak point. I do know what you're talking about. He had his own criticisms of Stalinist Russia as well. But I heard about this from, I want to say Letters in Politics, where they talked about that. But I did hear a little bit about it, but again, it's still a weak point for me. It's just not something that I've looked into a whole bunch. So the fact of the matter is, I know that they lost. I know that they tried to fight. But the last time that I heard about Spain, or really paid attention, there was a critique by Engels. And that's in the 1800s, where the anarchists, or the Bakuninites, however you want to say them, they basically were creating these villages. And all that the army did was just crush them one by one by one by one, because they didn't bunch up together to fight against the fascist, the military might of the people. And they got into the government. They sat here and undermined themselves as, you know, the anarchists. They didn't have that class analysis and class consciousness, and they basically just sat here and waited and fought, and then died one by one by one by one, because instead of fighting as a group and a careful unit, you know, looking for solidarity with other people, you know, other groups, they kind of just said, well, we're just going to do our own thing. And that just messed them up. And Engels was really harsh on them. Really harsh on it. Let me see if I can find that really quickly. Because that one, Engels. Bakuninists at Work. That was the name of it. 1873. So I'll put this in if you really want to sit here and read. This one kind of swayed my view of anarchists. So here you all go. And I mean if you all are anarchists, that's fine. Don't sit here and take my word for it. I don't know a lot of them. It's just when I tried to read Proudhon, I was not impressed. I was not impressed with Bakunin. Bakunin. Or Proudhon. So not really any of them, and just different reasons. I mean, the first person that I sat here and looked into was Karl Marx. I've been trying to read Capital, but I've been getting into his other works first. And then I started reading Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, and I read from his perspective. Comrade Horace. To be fair, in Catalonia, they were much more organized. I'm not an anarchist personally, but I have sympathy for them. So, and I do too, but my problem is the more that I read about anarchists, it's like that class consciousness problem that they have. They got pushed into it, especially Bakunin. And so they had to sit here and recognize the class structure and class analysis, but it's like they have this zeal that just blinds them. I like to think I am Zizikian, and so on and so on. But Space Ghost, I'm a Marxist, at least I think so. Still pretty new to all the options. Space Ghost, please don't try to label yourself. I mean, for the most part, I came into Marxist theory and historical dialectical and everything else, but just try to learn what you can. And I say this because the person that got me into it was Richard D. Wolff. When you sit here and you listen to what he has to say, I mean, for the most part, when he does his analysis, he breaks it down really quickly. And if you want to sit here and listen to the stuff that I listen to, it'd be Capitalism Hits the Fan, as well as Democracy at Work, A Cure for Capitalism. Those are what changed me into actually understanding socialist theories first. So that would be my suggestion, but don't take my word for it. Look into the Left Forum. They have plenty of like resources and materials. You can look into Shama Sawant, female socialist that got elected as part of the city council, and the liberals were like, well, I want to sit here and throw her out. She hasn't been thrown out yet. She's got working class people just voting her in, and I'm pretty sure she'll keep doing that because she keeps fighting for them. You've got other people all over. Like I recently learned about Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz. Now, in terms of Native American and indigenous history, that's what I'm learning. As well as I listened to Gerald Horne, and I have his book, The Counter-Revolution of 1776. So is Bunker Chan the main or lefty pole? Just to screw around a bit in while I consume theory. I would sit here and suggest you look into lefty pole. A lot more busy. I mean, we get a lot in lefty pole. You get a lot more Polacks who probably want to sit here and troll. Right now, shoot, I don't go to Bunker Chan, and I barely go anywhere else in 8chan because all of them kind of suck. So it is what it is. Lefty pole has a lot more going for it, and you can ask a lot of questions. And I have to sit here and I have to recommend, if you want to get an education and stuff, please check out FreeDo. I think it's Free Edu or something like that. Let me see what it is. I'm looking around on Lefty Pole. One of the places is FreeDo, I think. No. Not about the free market, but education. Let's see if education comes up. I can't find it. But for the most part, you can get a quick education in lefty stuff, and you can find that on Lefty Pole a lot quicker. FreeDo, yeah. So and that's left-wing learning, as Comrade Horse has basically told you. It's plenty of like stuff that you can find in regards to like plenty of things you can learn about anarchism, Marxism, and all of it. The other option is every week there is a new book that's coming out. Now, I can't participate in that because I've been busy on my own things, but the fact of the matter is, you all should be able to sit here and look into different things that are going on. And if you really want to learn theory with other people, always look into the appreciation threads. I don't think they sticky them on Lefty Poll, but the fact of the matter is, it should almost always be at the top somewhere, in some way, shape, or form. And it's a really good one to sit here and take different types of, knowledge about different types of things that are going on. I'm trying to find it at the same time that I'm talking, but I really cannot find it at this current point in time. And people also have this Discord, but that's another story. So, and don't think that I'm being paid by anybody. I'm just sitting here recommending this so that way you all can have something to look into yourselves. So, other than that, if y'all don't have any other questions, I mean, it is 46 minutes. I know I've probably talked a lot. Hopefully that you all got something out of it. Some kind of Marxist theory. I don't know. But trying to see if there's any other questions. Comrade Horsefucker. Shoot. Comrade Horse. Lefty Poll has a reading thread too where people read different tendencies theory together. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I have one question, Comrade Horse. Okay, go ahead. No, I'm not supposed to have like dead time, but still. The Bakuniness at work. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to close that out. Comrade Horace, what do you think of Titoism and market socialism? Well, Titoism is pretty bunkers. That's really all you need to know about that. In regards to market socialism, I mean, for the most part, I'm not a market socialist. I do think that markets need to be regulated. You can't have a free market. That's pretty much an oxymoron. The reason that I have anything about market socialism and know anything about it is the fact that someone tried to say a long time ago that I was either a mutualist or a market socialist, and I'm sorry. After all the decimation and destruction of 2008, I'm not a big fan of markets. And then I could go into a long rant about how slavery was about the deregulation of markets that basically sent black people into slavery, and they got 1700%. So Titoism was Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is a really bad thing to me, because Clinton basically undermined that, which led into Iraq, which has led into a whole bunch of problems for America as we've gone into regime change all over the world, all over the place. So Titoism, for the most part, I mean, I'll sit here and I'll use the memes, but I don't know much. If I thought it was just the bunkers, but okay, I might be wrong on that. So let me see. I'm trying to sit here and see. Stalin Red Pill. Here we go. Lefty Poll reads. Here you go. If you did need to, finally found it. Space Ghost, didn't the Clintons support fascist groups in the Ukraine? Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think the secretary, there was somebody who had like an unlocked message that the Russians received and found out about it. So you are correct. They've supported fascist groups in the Ukraine. But the Clintons didn't stop there. I mean, in terms of fascist groups, you should look into Berta Cáceres, who just recently died as an indigenous feminist. In Honduras, they are still supporting the government that was illegitimate in the first place. In her book, Hard Choices, she basically sits here and gave the okay for a damn death squad to basically take over Honduras as part of the government, that's why I won't ever vote for Hillary Clinton. Screw that girl. But here you go. This is the Lefty Poll. Shoot, I can't send it. Let me try this again. Dang it, can't send it. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, there we go. I can't put 8chan.net. For whatever reason, even I can't send the damn thing. But that's the thread. You can look up 8chan.net and see that one. Comrade Horse. Clinton straight up laughed about Gaddafi getting raped and murdered as Libya became a jihadi stronghold. Well, the French wanted to kill him because he had dirt on Sarkozy. And in regards to everything that happened, I mean, it was brutal. They basically have supported the radical regimes. And this has been what America has done for decades. I mean, even in the 50s. Everywhere that the CIA and the FBI wants to sit here and do things for private, yeah, it censors 8chan, but basically, everywhere that American corporations want to sit here and, exploit labor, they've pretty much used the FBI, the CIA, and all these other groups. So it really fucking sucks. But you can sit here and look at all the trails of bodies, and they all lead into this group of trained thugs that basically undermine the democracy and then overthrow the rulers, or democratically elected rulers, and then all of a sudden they want to sit here and clamp down. Similar things are going on right now in regards to Brazil. They're going through a coup where the people, like 300 people, have basically tried to undermine the president, the female president. And the reason that they're doing that is because all of them have been implicated in the Panama Papers. Go figure. 300 conservative right-wing people that are saying, we believe in God, we believe in the dictatorship of the whoever that dictatorship is, and then they want to undermine the center-left Workers' Party that basically wants to do right by the people. But they want to sit here and indict the president. I mean, the president hasn't done anything wrong. These 300 people did. Space Ghost. So since Clinton is paying people to subvert democracy, I feel like there is no hope for Sanders. So who would be better at this point, Hillary or Trump? Bernie Sanders. Hillary Clinton is indicted by the FBI. They're just doing their thing, but they have 12 people working around the clock on this, and I doubt very highly that they want to have Hillary Clinton as the president, because the fact of the matter is, in the 90s, she sat here and spied on 900 of the conservatives with the FBI. So I doubt highly that they want her as president. Now, they might sit here and negotiate with Trump, but I doubt that Hillary will do it. And in regards to Trump, what's going to happen, I know we have some accelerationists out there, but Trump would sit here and basically destroy a lot of America. but it would galvanize a movement against him, so they can keep his hands off the button. But the fact of the matter is, Hillary is a corporate shill for the most part. In regards to everything that's going on with Hillary right now, you got to look at her entire background and her entire history, and it's ridiculous in more than one way. With Hillary, what you're going to get is a corporate shill. She's money laundered $2 billion. There's so many facts on her. She's got so many scandals. It's ridiculous. She has more baggage than two basic corporate media sponsors. Two jetliners. It's ridiculous in more ways than one. For the most part, with her, I'm trying to remember it all, because there's way too much to remember. With Hillary Clinton, you have her in Haiti and Honduras undermining those democracies. You have Haiti being undermined for an Irish telecom, which was making millions. So that's where all the money went. It went to Irish tax havens. I'm trying to see what y'all are talking about. Let's see. I doubt the Republican Party will let Trump get the nomination. They'll pull BS at the convention and give it to Cruz. They won't give it to Cruz. Cruz is already bad himself, and he's a dominionist. Trump is their best bet. Absolutely their best bet. It's Space Ghost. It's honestly a fight for either 8 years of Hillary or 4 years of Trump. I doubt very highly, with all the negatives that Hillary is getting, that there won't be 4 years for Clinton. The problem is, she has a lot of secrets in that White House that Obama kept, because they're both corporate Democrats. And so, if the Republicans pull a hat trick, it's going to be all the DNC's fault. But the DNC is probably going to blame every last Bernie bro out there. Cruz isn't any better. Yes, I agree with that. Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. Where did this meme come up from? I swear. I don't know where it came up, but that is awesome. So, alright guys. Well, it is 12 o'clock. Hopefully y'all got something out of this AI Twitter thing. Hopefully y'all got something out of this. And then if y'all want to do this again, get some questions. I'll probably sit here and post on Lefty Poll, or I'll post in Bunker Chan that basically I'm streaming, and then hopefully you all enjoy it. Sit here, read the articles. I'll try to put in at least one, so that way you all have something to read. And if I get more people, I'll sit here and start structuring this a lot better. But right now, since it's just a small group, I'd rather answer you all's questions, and you all guide and dictate what's going on, than me just spouting off nonsense and just ignoring you all. And then maybe if in the future, if y'all want to sit here and have like Google Hangout, if I ever figure out how to flying fuck to do that, I'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. It was pretty cool. If I don't have to work, I'll show up. That feeling when wage cuck. I know how you feel. That feeling when, bro. Might be busy tomorrow, but I'll find out. This is really chill. Have a Steam or anything, I'll post that in the comments. But I don't really use Steam, and I only play one game. I play Warframe. If you want to know my name on Warframe, just look up this in the comments. And that's my Steam account as well. So once I figure out how to do like Google Hangouts, I'll probably sit here and start inviting people. But right now, I only have a few people watching. So I just enjoy the fact that hopefully y'all got something out of it. That's my main thing. So And maybe in the future, if you all like this isn't really my main channel. This is just my live stream channel. You can look up Jagos and you'll see my main channel where I talk about video games and stuff like that. So this is just more for the political side, whereas I have another channel that's mainly for everything else. So alright guys, well, other than that, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sign out. It's 12 o'clock. I got work tomorrow. I know y'all got work tomorrow. So I had fun. Comrade Horse. I'm going to be calling you Comrade Horse, not anything else. Alright. See y'all later.